So consider this is a simple pendulum, and we have given the very small angular displacement theta. So this position, this is the displaced position for that bob, and this is the small angular displacement theta. Okay. After this, if you release the bob, then it will start oscillating in this direction. Okay. So these oscillations of the simple pendulum, it will become the transverse oscillation or transverse vibration. So in order to use the Newton's second law to determine the natural frequency, we have the equation F is equal to mass into acceleration, or summation of F is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is linear equation. This is for the linear system. For rotational system, we will use the analogous term. For force, we have the term torque. For mass, we have the term mass moment of inertia. And for linear acceleration, the equivalent term, this is the angular acceleration. So equation will be summation of F is equal to, summation of torque is equal to I into alpha. So to use this equation for this system, the first step will be to draw the free body diagram. Okay. So the force which is acting on this bob, so this is the force due to gravity. So this is mg. So this force mg, it will try to pull this bob to its equilibrium position. So that will provide the restoring force. Okay. So out of the mg, only some portion it will provide the restoring force, and therefore we have to resolve this mg. So this component, it is perpendicular to this line. Okay, that is the string connected to this bob, and the second component, it is along this line. Okay, so as this angle is theta with the vertical, this angle will be also theta. So this component will be mg cos theta, and this component is mg sin theta. Okay. Now, out of these two components, only mg sin theta, it will cause the oscillatory motion. Okay. Mg cos theta, it has no contribution in the oscillatory motion. This component, it is balanced only by the tension force. So it will create the tension in this string. So this is external force or the restoring force, which is mg into sin theta. Okay. So as per this Newton's second law, as there is a torque, there has to be some acceleration. Okay. So this acceleration, as the bob is moving from this position to the rightward side, so we will show the acceleration or this complete force, that is called as the inertia force or inertia torque. So this is called as the inertia torque. And the left hand side, this is called as a external torque, or this is called as a restoring torque. Okay. So the inertia torque, it will be on the right side. This is I alpha. Okay. Now we use this equation, summation of torque, this is equal to I into alpha. So summation of torque means we need to find out the torque by this mg sin theta about the point of rotation. Okay. So this complete system, it is rotating about this pivot point. So torque will be mg sin theta into its perpendicular distance. So this is the perpendicular distance, that is the L, length of the pendulum. Okay. So this torque will be mg sin theta. Okay. So into this moment arm, that is a perpendicular distance, this is L, and this moment, it is clockwise about this point of rotation. So take this point as O. So about the point O, the moment created by this component, it is a clockwise. So this is negative. So minus mg sine theta into L, this is the external torque. This is equal to inertia torque is I alpha. So it is in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So this is I alpha and it will be positive. So just rearrange this term. You can take this term on the right side. So it will become I alpha plus mg into L into sine theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. Now here I, this is the moment of inertia of the sphere or bob about the pivot point O. Then alpha is the angular acceleration. So this angular acceleration we will write in terms of theta. Okay. So alpha, this is written as a theta double dot. Okay. So this is the representation of the acceleration in the vibration, theta double dot. So just write this I into theta double dot plus mgl into sine theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. Now here, this sine theta term, as initially we have assumed theta is a very small. Okay. So here we will make one approximation. As theta is very small, then the value of sine theta, it will become approximately theta. Okay. Even you can verify this in your calculator. You can take the very small value of theta. Let us take it 0. So you will get this 0 value. Okay. You can check this with calculator. Sine 0 is 0. Then if you increase gradually from 0, so let us take sine 1. So this is approximately, this is 0.99 something. So this will be approximately 1. Even sine 2, this is approximately 2. Okay. So for very small angle theta, the sine theta value remains theta. So therefore we can replace this value. So it will become I theta double dot plus mgl into theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. So this will become the equation of motion for this simple pendulum. So from this equation, we will try to write the differential equation. Okay. So theta double dot plus mgl upon I into theta, this is equal to 0. Now if you compare this equation with the equation of simple harmonic motion, so this equation is almost similar to that equation of simple harmonic motion. Okay. So what is equation of simple harmonic motion? So for simple harmonic motion, we have the equation x double dot plus omega square x is equal to 0. So here x, it represents the linear term. So this equation, this is for the linear motion or linear oscillation. So similarly, if there is a rotational system, okay, then we can write this equation as theta double dot plus omega square into theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. So this equation, it is for the simple harmonic motion. And if the motion is rotational. Okay. So these are the standard equations if any system is oscillating with simple harmonic motion. So for this system, that is simple pendulum, we have got the equation theta double dot plus this is mgl upon I into theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. So this equation, it is similar to this equation. Theta double dot, this is the acceleration term, and theta is the displacement. Okay, that is angular displacement. So we can say this omega square, it must be equal to this term mgl upon I. So this omega square, it is the frequency of simple harmonic motion. So similarly, for this system, it will become the natural frequency. So omega n is equal to mgl upon I. Okay. Now here we will put the exact value of the mass moment of inertia for the simple pendulum. So simple pendulum. So this is the mass and this is the length of the pendulum. Okay. So what is general equation for a mass moment of inertia in terms of radius of gyration? So this is m k square. Okay. So what is the significance of k in this equation of moment of inertia? K represent the distribution of mass with respect to the axis of rotation. Okay. So for simple pendulum, mass is distributed exactly at the length of the pendulum, that is at distance L. So here L, it will become the radius of gyration. So we can write this equation for simple pendulum. I is equal to m L square. Okay. So put this value ml square in this formula of omega n. So we will get mgl upon ml square. So we can cancel out this. So remaining value is g upon l. So omega n, that is a natural frequency. For a simple pendulum, this is equal to, sorry, this is omega n square. This is omega square. So this will become omega n square. So omega n square is g by l. So from this omega n, it will become the square root of g upon l. Okay. So this is the equation for natural frequency for the simple pendulum. From this, we can find out its time period. So t is equal to, just take 2 pi upon omega n. Okay. So it will become 2 pi upon omega n means square root g upon l. And in the numerator, we will get t is equal to 2 pi in square root l upon g. Okay. So this is the equation that you must have used in the first year engineering mechanics to find out the time period or to find out this acceleration due to gravity. Okay. So t is equal to 2 pi under root l upon g. So this will give the time period. So this is how you can find out the natural frequency and time period for the simple pendulum by using the Newton's second law. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Okay, so second problem that was given in the last lecture. So there is one horizontal rod. It is pivoted at its one end and it is supported at the other end with the help of one spring. Okay. And initially the system is at static equilibrium position. So this system, it is at static equilibrium position. Its mass, this is mass m, and the length is L. And for this system, we have to find out the omega n value by using the Newton's second law. Okay, so Newton's second law, this method, sometimes it is referred as a D'Alembert's principle. Or this is written as the equilibrium method. Okay, so in some books, the problem is solved with the help of the D'Alembert's or the equilibrium method. Okay. Okay, so for this system, in order to find out the omega n, first we need to draw the displaced position for the oscillation. Okay, so what is displaced position? We need to visualize, if you give the angular displacement or linear displacement to the given system or given mass, then system will start oscillating. Okay, so here, if you press this free end by applying some force F only at the initial condition, okay, and if you release that force, then system will start oscillating about this pivot point. Okay, so because of the initial force, there will be some initial displacement. So that displacement at this free end, so assume this as a x displacement. Okay, so when we provide this x displacement, then the displaced position will be like this. So this dotted line, it represents the equilibrium position or a static equilibrium position. This is the pivot point. This complete rod, it will rotate about this pivot point as the free end undergoes the linear displacement x. Okay, so this line, so this is the displaced position because of the initial displacement. Okay, so this angular displacement, which is corresponding to x, assume this as a theta. Okay, for this free end, its linear displacement, this is a x. Because of this x displacement in the downward direction, this spring, it will undergo the compression. Okay, so this is the compressed spring. So as the spring gets compressed, it will provide some restoring force. So for this system, the restoring force, it will be in the upward direction, because this spring, it will try to bring the system to its mean line. So it will provide the restoring force in the upward direction, that is opposite to this displacement x. Okay, so this force, so this line, it represents the line of action of that restoring force. Okay, so this is the restoring force that is offered by the spring. The second force in the system, it is the inertia force. Okay, so for this system, let us take this as center of gravity. Okay, and as we have displaced this complete rod in the downward direction by displacement x, So its acceleration, it will be in the downward direction. So this is x double dot, and corresponding inertia force, it will be in the same direction. Okay. But here we cannot take this x double dot directly because it is not a linear system. It is the rotational system. So for the rotational system, we will use this angular displacement theta as a system parameter. Okay. So as the system is rotating about this point, and this is a theta in the clockwise direction, because x, it is in the downward direction. So its acceleration theta double dot, it will be in the same direction, that is a clockwise direction. Okay. And because of that, its inertia torque, so inertia torque is written as I theta double dot. So it will be in the same direction as the external displacement theta or external displacement x. Okay. So now write the equation for Newton's second law. So for Newton's second law, that is a rotational system, summation of torque is equal to I into alpha. This summation of torque, it is the restoring torque. So there is only one restoring torque that is offered by the spring. So this is equal to, so we have to find out this value, that is a spring force. So equation is F is equal to K into X. Okay. So torque means what? We need to take the moment by this force vector about the point of rotation. Okay. So this moment will be spring force Fk into this complete distance. This is the L. Okay. So just multiply Fk by L. And this moment is anti-clockwise direction. So you can observe here as the force vector is upward and this is the pivot point. So this moment will be anti-clockwise. So it is positive. This is equal to I into alpha. So alpha means theta double dot. This is acceleration. Now put the exact value of Fk. So that is equal to K into X. So Kx into L. This is equal to I theta double dot. Okay. So as the system is rotational, we will replace the X term in terms of theta. Okay. So how you can find out the relation between X and theta? So you can observe here. So this is the L total length and this is the X displacement. Okay. And this angle is theta. So if you consider this small right angle triangle, so this is theta, this is L, and this is X. So we can write X is equal to L into theta. Okay. So because if you use sine theta, so it will become, sorry, instead of sine theta, use the tan theta. So tan theta, it will become opposite side upon adjacent, and very small angle theta, tan theta will be theta. So X is equal to L. Sorry, X is equal to L into theta. Okay. So by this relation, we can get this value X is equal to L theta. So we can replace X by L theta. So it will become K, X is L theta into L. This is equal to I theta double dot. And here, this I theta double dot, that is a inertia torque, it is in the clockwise direction. So this is negative. So just rearrange the term. So it will become I theta on the left hand side plus k. This will become L square into theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. So theta double dot plus k L square upon I into theta. This is equal to 0. Okay. So this equation, so these two equations, they will represent the equation of motion. And if you compare this equation with the simple harmonic motion, this term, it will give the natural frequency. Okay. So I will write here omega n square. This is equal to kl square upon I. And from this, omega n is equal to square root kl square upon I. Now here, as the given system, that is a rod, it is a standard geometrical shape. So we know the standard formula for the I. So this is slender rod. And for the slender rod, the standard formula for mass moment of inertia about its center of gravity. So we have the system like this. So it is having the length L. And about its geometrical axis, the geometrical center, if the rod is rotating, its moment of inertia will be I is equal to, this is ml square by 12. Okay. Now given system, it is not pivoted at the center of gravity. If it is pivoted at the center of gravity, then we can use directly this formula. It is pivoted at the one end. So we need to find out the moment of inertia about this point. So you can use the parallel axis theorem. Okay. We have the moment of inertia. So this is Ig. You want to calculate this moment of inertia. So take this as I0. So by using parallel axis theorem, I0 is equal to Ig plus mass of the system into distance between these two parallel axes. So this is L by 2. So L by 2 square. So this Ig is ml square by 12 plus this mass L square upon 4. Okay. So adjust the denominator. So you need to multiply here 3. So it will become 12. So this will become 3 plus 1. So it is 4 by 12 ml square. That is ml square by 3. Okay. So this is the moment of inertia about the point of rotation. That is a pivot point O. So just put the value in that equation. Omega n is equal to square root. This is kl square upon I. That is I0. So it will become kl square upon, this is ml square by 3. So L square you can cancel out. So remaining value is, this is square root 3k upon n. Okay, so this is the final equation for the omega n for a given system. So this is how, by using Newton's second law, we can find out the natural frequency. So in your syllabus, the most of the problem, they are based on vibration model. Okay, that is a simplified system. So will not be given, there will not be any question directly on the physical system. Okay. So physical system, they are simplified in the vibration model. And from this vibration model, we have to just use the Newton's second law or the energy method. And then we can find out the equation for the natural frequency. Okay. So just note down one homework problem. So this is the given system. So system carries one slender rod, which is pivoted at point O. So this is the pivot point. Okay. One spring is connected with stiffness K at distance L by 3 from its one end. Okay. So we need to determine the omega n by assuming a very small angular displacement theta about the pivot point. Okay. So first we should draw the displaced position. So I will show that displaced position. This is your pivot point. So it will remain fixed. Okay. You can give the displacement either on the anti-clockwise direction or in the clockwise direction. So assume we have displaced it in the anti-clockwise direction, that is towards the left side. So this is the displaced position. Okay. So actually this angular displacement, it will be very small. So this is the displaced position. Okay. At this position, we should draw the free body diagram. So in the free body diagram, the force will be first will be the restoring force. So restoring force means what? Spring force. Force offered by the spring. Second will be the inertia. Okay. That is the inertia force or inertia torque. So in order to decide whether it is inertia force or inertia torque, we have to identify whether it is a linear system or it is a rotational system. So if in the system there is a pivot point, and if the system is a rod-like system, okay, like this, then the system will be a rotational system. Okay, so we have to find out the inertia torque. Then write the Newton's second law, find out this equation of motion, and then compare this with the simple harmonic motion and get the equation for omega n. Okay,